I'm Dave Mercer.
And I'm Matt Pangrac.
Welcome to the Cull, a weekly sport fishing debate show where we throw around hot topics in the sport of fishing. Panger, I'm going to throw it out there. It's time to bring back Win and You're In. Win an Elite Series event, and you go to the Bassmaster Classic. Win and You're In should be back in this sport. What say you, Matt Pangrac?
I think there's a reason they did away with it, Dave. It's the Bassmaster Classic, the most hollowed event in the history of the sport. And I don't think that as a professional angler, you should be able to qualify for it with 4 good days. The anglers talk about how the importance of an angler of the year is over a classic win when they talk about what means more to the professional angler and respect as a whole. And the Bassmaster Classic is the ultimate tournament that should be a test of the best, not the test of someone who was best for 4 days during the year. You compete coast to coast from the spawn through the fall. You earn your spot in the following year's Bassmaster Classic. I think it was a unique situation when they brought it in, and I think there was a reason why it is no longer around. The Classic is a test of the best, and to be the best, you have to prove that you are the best for the duration of the season, not just 4 days.
But you can make the Bassmaster Classic in 3 days. I mean, you win an Open, and you go to the Bassmaster Classic in 3 days, so...
Dave, that's a great point. You want to go down that path? I will. I believe that the reason why the Win and You're In for the Bassmaster Classic, it's a business decision, Dave, because it's a carrot. There's a carrot that is out there. And if it was just an angler of the year, like it used to be, I believe the top 2 in each division used to go to the Bassmaster Classic. But what you ended up with, because of the open payout structure, was a lot of anglers who had no incentive to go to the final Open of the season. They're out of it. They sucked in an event. They can't make the Bassmaster Classic now. So if you can keep your numbers up by dangling the Classic carrot throughout the entire season, you've got anglers like me who might be out of it for a division, but man, you have 3 good days and you're in the Bassmaster Classic. There's 9 Bassmaster Open anglers who will be in the Bassmaster Classic. And that's a topic for a different keeper call as far as the makeup of the Bassmaster Classic and who should be in or out of it. But I understand it more on the Bassmaster Opens. It's more of a Bass Nation type thing. It is a business decision for Bass. But when you have the top 100 competing for it, I think you drop the field down so more anglers overall qualify for it. And you do that by taking away the Win and You're In, and you get your best from that year in the following year's Classic. You seem like you're not a fan of that. You want to bring back the Win and You're In?
Yes. Yeah, because here's the simple fact. What is the most valued thing in this entire sport? What is the thing that everybody, that's so rare? What makes fishing different than any other sport?
Winning the Bassmaster Classic.
No, winning in general. Like, there's no other sport, whether you play golf or whatever, there's no sport where the average of your win-loss record hits like it does in bass fishing. I mean, the greatest to ever do it has won 25 Bassmaster events, and I think it took him 29 years to win 25 events. So that's the greatest ever. And he didn't even average a win a year. The toughest thing to do is win, and I don't think it's celebrated enough in this sport. I mean, sure, you get a check. Sure, you get a little bit of hoopla. But even for the fans going to the Bassmaster Classic, who do you want to see? You want to see the people that won. I mean, your decision literally to go by points, and the decision of the anglers back in, I believe, 2015, we were researching, that robbed Rick Clunn of 2 trips to the Bassmaster Classic. And I will argue this, the anglers that voted to change it did it so they said, we'll go deeper into Angler of the Year points and more of those people get in the Classic. If you work it out with the number of Elite Series pros that win Opens, the number didn't hardly change. It's one angler this way or that way, either way. So literally, let's celebrate a win. The most valuable thing in the history of the sport is a win. And that's what everyone says they fish for. I mean, all I want is a shot. I just want a chance to win. When you win, you're going to make the Bassmaster Classic. It's going to change your life. You're going to have this opportunity. And guess what? All the fans that have read the magazine, that have watched the TV show, that have listened to Bass Talk Live and all the buffoonery that is in this world, you get to see them at the Bassmaster Classic, not a dude who finished 45th in points. Not that I'm belittling that. But come on, I want to see those people in the Bassmaster Classic.
I don't want to see a guy in the Bassmaster Classic who finished 80th in 7 events and happened to have 4 good days because there was something in his wheelhouse. Listen, I think you keep saying the most important thing in this sport is a win. It is not a win. The most important thing in this sport is a Bassmaster Classic win. If we're going to rank wins, it is not just a win. How many Bassmaster Classic champions have there been? How many regular season winners have there been? The odds are staggering on that. There's a lot more regular season winners. It is not the most valuable thing. A Bassmaster Classic win is. And in order to get to the Bassmaster Classic, you are fishing the Bassmaster Elite Series. Take the Opens out of it, Dave. Take the Bass Nation qualifiers, the College Angler, and the Weekend Series guys out of it. We are talking specifically about the Bassmaster Elite Series. It is a test of the best over varying conditions across an entire year. I think that the anglers should be celebrated based on their consistency and ability to put patterns together throughout the year with a classic berth the following season instead of, hey, I had 4 good days. Listen, they get celebrated. They have endorsement deals, the articles, the Bass Live coverage, $100,000 check. They get the 100 Angler of the Year points, and most likely anglers who win qualify for the Bassmaster Classic. Statistically, there are a couple each year who don't, but I don't think they deserve to be in the Bassmaster Classic because they weren't able to show that consistency throughout the year.
I disagree. I think a win is, and I also think for the drama that it brings to it, you look at this point of the season that we're at right now. I mean, I know just having the opportunity, there's anglers that are eliminated. They can literally win all the rest of the events for the rest of the year and not make the Bassmaster Classic at this point. But man, it is awesome to watch somebody swing for a home run. I mean, that's what everybody loves in the sport.
Sports, Dave. You're in Canada. How many years have the Maple Leafs been statistically out of the playoffs with nothing to play for?
That is a low blow, especially this time of year. Okay?
I'm just saying, that's what happens in sports. You have top and you have bottom, and you can't sacrifice the integrity of the top title in the sport just to bring the guys who didn't bring it throughout the season back into play throughout it. There are guys who are fishing the last 3 events with nothing to fish for other than a first place check and $100,000. They're out of the classic cut. That's life. That's the way it works. You don't want to be in that position. Catch them better. It's like that in the NHL, Major League Baseball, football, everything. There's teams that go 1-15, but they still show up and go to the field. It's not, hey, this team's eliminated from playoff contention. What can we do to where they win a game and are back in it? It's life. That's the way it is. It's the Bassmaster Classic. It shouldn't be easy. Shouldn't be able to do it in 4 days.
Well, I don't think it's easy. I don't think it's easy. I think for you to say it's easy, just look at the long list of anglers that have never, ever won. And look at, never mind the ones that haven't won. Look at the ones that have won. I mean, we are freaking out over Lee Livesey winning 4 events in literally 3 years because that is unheard of. You know, I use this example just because I was standing beside him all weekend long. Davey Hyde had a Hall of Fame career and won 8 Bassmaster events. Sure, he won multiple Angler of the Year titles and the Classic and that sort of thing. Had an incredible career. Nobody would ever argue that Davey Hyde is a Hall of Famer. But 8 wins in his entire career. That's how rare a win is in this sport. So according to me, I think winning you're in should be back. I say keep it. Keep winning you're in. Or is it call or keep? I get confused, Banger.
You're keeping winning you're in.
Okay.
I'm calling it. You want to name the guys who have won? All I know is there's a guy who won back-to-back who has never won a regular season Elite Series event.
Yeah. That's true. So what does that have to do with anything?
Consistency in points. Hey.
Tom, I know who you're talking about.
And then he got back in because he won the Bassmaster Classic, which obviously I think is a no-brainer.
But how different would people fish if it wasn't just, here's what I hate, the mediocrity, and we're going to go long here. But listen, I honestly think that Elite Series pros, any pro level, you guys hostage and risk everything. And you should have every opportunity to gain and do well. But the one negative thing that has happened in our sport in a number of years is complacency. I need to be in the top 50 to get that check. I need to be in the top 50 to stay in those points. You change it to winning, you're in, and then all of a sudden it becomes like a home run derby every single week. You've got people fishing totally different, and that's what I want to see. I don't want to see an angler fish with a limiter. That's what makes the Classic so special, because it's the only event all year long where guys are like, I don't care. I'm not swinging for second, third, fourth, 10th, 20th. They don't care about that. They just fish the Classic to win. And I think winning you're in would make every single tournament like that.
It's a valid point. You want to take the red line out. You want to take the 2-line pass out of hockey.
Yeah.
Open it up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Take the neutral zone trap out of play.
Feel like you're setting me up here, Panger.
Absolutely not. I'm sorry about the Maple Leafs. That was a low blow.
God, they're horrible, aren't they? Spend millions of dollars.
They're fun to watch.
They are.
I was rooting for them.
In the regular season, they're wonderful to watch, but but they'll be good next year, I think. I really do think they're different this year. Now, everybody's shutting this off now because we're talking about hockey, but I love it. You love it. The Leafs are a different team. The loss that they took this year was a different loss than we've seen other years. They were different, I think. I don't know. Anyways, enough about hockey. Let us know what you guys think. Keep our Cull winning you're in Bassmaster Elite Series events.